Evening, travelers. Wherever you're sitting tonight, under a roof, under the stars, or under the ground, I hope you've got a fire close and a wall at your back. Now, I hear a lot of stories. Some folks bring them to me, straight for the maidens, and some I dig out on my own. This one's from the hills west of Rivenloch. There's a door out there, rusted steel, half swallowed by the hillside. No hinges, no handle, just a crack wide enough for some fool to slip through. And behind it, an old government lab. Pillars ran this thing back when they still called themselves public servants instead of what they are. The books call it the Voss Adaptation Study, supposed to be about pattern acclimation. There was this fella, Ellard Voss. He wasn't just any other miner from Blackreach. Man spent his life underground, cutting stone and hauling ore. Survived 3 cave-ins. Pulled out of the rubble every time, with hardly a scratch. Supposedly, a stick of dynamite went off close enough to blow him in two. He wasn't even touched. He just brushed off the dust and went back to work. You could chalk that up to dumb luck if you want, but I kindly doubt it. But the reason the pillars wanted him wasn't his grit. This fella was what they call pattern sensitive, you see. Voss could walk through places that turned other men's minds inside out and come back steady as bedrock. Reports say his peers were put off by him sometimes, had an eerie air to him. Back in the old world, they'd have made a seer out of him, and if you don't know what that means, well, that's a story for another broadcast. So what did our government decide to do with this special fella? Well, study him, of course. Pattern-sensitive folk are not easy to come by and can be very useful, so I'm told. It only made sense that they would want to try to harness this power, and it went well at first. The pillars issued orders of the highest secrecy and importance to rally the greatest of their scientific minds and ship 'em all off to Rivenloch to learn as much as they could about our dear Ellard Voss and try to come up with a way to, get this, duplicate him. Yeah, I laughed too when I first heard the story. But see, the really funny thing is, it worked. The first duplication they made of Voss came out perfect. It wasn't all sunshine and daffodils, mind you. This other Ellard was dumber than a bag of rocks. It would seem that making a copy of a man was the easy part. Even growing him fast wasn't hard neither. In a couple of months, he'd grown from a baby to a full-grown man. Stand the two of them side by side and you couldn't tell who was who. But the mind would prove surprisingly unaltered. The most complex part of this whole thing turned out to be that when they had him duped, they had to teach him all the things about being, well, people. I don't envy the one who drew the short straw and had to teach him how to wipe. The way I heard it, some of the scientists left the project because they believed they created something against nature. If only they knew the half of it. Ellard, on the other hand, was tickled pink. Never had me a baby brother before. I'll show you everything, other me. How to walk like me and talk like me. And I'll teach you how to fish and hunt, and I'll tell you all the stories I got. And that's when this story took a bit of a detour. Our dear Ellard, the original Ellard, that is, died before they could make another one. That's the one thing about this story that isn't really covered in the reports, friends. This fella died, and that's for sure, but the how and why is a mystery. Some people say he got sick. Some say he took his own life. Others say it was his baby brother who did it. I'll let you decide what you want to believe. Regardless, Ellard Voss numero uno was no more, and the pillars still wanted their project to succeed, no matter the cost. I have in my possession a letter from Pillar Corvin Day to the director of this project, and don't ask me how much it cost. To Director Halvus, I trust this letter finds you in good health and sharper spirits than when we last spoke. I have no doubt the air in those hills is a balm for the mind, if not for the lungs. The work you are doing there is of great importance to the Council, and I am personally eager to see the fruits of your labor and our investment brought to maturity. You have been given resources others could only dream of. Men, materials, and the rarest subject in New Providence's history. A man who could walk the pattern as if it were a garden path. Such an opportunity does not come twice. We expect results that will justify the trust we have placed in you. I need not remind you that trust is a fragile commodity in these times. It can be earned, and it can be withdrawn entirely. It would be a shame for delays or disappointments to invite unnecessary questions from my colleagues, who are far less patient than I. In my experience, unanswered questions have a way of becoming decisive. Do see that my next visit to Rivenloch is one that I can describe in only glowing terms to the Council. If the work is as promising as you've assured me, I shall be the first to raise a toast in your honor. Yours in Providence, Pillar Corbin Day, Council of Chains. So you know what these geniuses did? They go and make another duplication from the duplication. I doubt many of you would know without my telling you, but that right there would turn out to be a very bad idea. By the fifth one, they could tell something was off. The jaw didn't fit the skull quite right, and fingers fused together like candle wax. Eyes just a little too far apart. By the 12th, they weren't men anymore. They were meat. Misshapen sacks with too many eyes, too many limbs, teeth blooming under the skin where they got no business being. Part of the program was speech training. They'd wanted these things to pass for people. The first real bad one they had to try and teach, it got as far as 2 words. Kill me. That was it. As soon as it understood what it was saying, it wouldn't learn any other sound. Just said it over and over and over in a wet, breathless voice. Everyone they made after that, same thing. Didn't matter if they had a mouth or not. The words still found their way out. The man from that letter who ran the place, Director Halvers, he blew his own brains out the day before Pillar Day was set to visit. No one lined up to take his job, and when he went, the whole thing fell apart. The Voss things broke loose. Staff got torn apart. Blood and bits smeared so thick the walls still smell of copper even now. These days, it's just a dark hole chained shut. Just a dim green glow hanging off the old machines within. The halls, now only alive with strange echoes. Sometimes it's the scrape of something dragging itself across the tile. Sometimes it's the click of bare feet. And sometimes it's that voice. Kill me, kill me, kill me. You gotta wonder what would have happened if they had told old Pillar Day the truth. Probably it would have ended about the same way. Just another hole in the ground filled with bodies. Some folks say these things never left the lab. Others swear they've seen them in the tree line, moving wrong and whispering. All I know is, if I was traveling anywhere near Rivenloch, I'd keep my visit short. Some places and some things are meant to stay buried. This is shallow graves. Keep your wits about you and your maidens close. I'll see you on the other side, traveler.